Hi, welcome to my another vlog. Recently, I've bought a TVS Jupiter, and many people have asked me why have I chosen a petrol over an EV. So I'm gonna give a quick four pointers of why I chose petrol over EV. The first, obviously, is the cost. Uh, Petrol is quite cheaper than an EV, so that's one of the pointers. That's not the reason or the only reason why I chose fuel over EV. Uh, but yes, this can be one of the pointers to choose from if or consider if you are going to buy petrol over an EV, or you're considering or comparing EV versus petrol. Second is the comfort. Petrol bikes are quite heavy when you comparing it with EV, because EV has a constant pressure of making the consumer go for the range or the mileage. Whereas for fuel, you have an engine, you have battery. It's a quite heavy bike, so for that the built up is also heavy. So comfort is great when it comes to ride quality versus an EV, and also the robustness. So what I've observed is, like, I was that day going on my bike and I saw an Ather. There were two people, a couple riding, and there was no space left. It was like all cramped up because it's that compact. Whereas petrol bikes are quite comfortable, they are quite elongated, so there's space and you can sit quite comfortably. That's what I've observed. Second, in the past 6 months, whatever bikes, EV bikes I've seen on the road, all have become, khulkhula is what you call it, or they have broken apart, and that's because of the plastic material being used to make it lightweight. And again, the spare parts, in the sense the shock absorbers, the fork, is not that great quality as compared to petrol. So that's 2 and 3 points which you can consider. And fourth is technology. If you compare, I know that if you compare EV versus petrol, EV's technology is quite high. It's quite high tech. But I have got a Jupiter, and what I wanted as a rider, I am getting it on the odometer. So I'm getting the range, I'm getting the average, I'm getting the real-time average, I am getting a navigation. So these 4 5 points, and even for example, notifications, SMS, calls, and I can just see everything on the dashboard, and it's quite clear. So as a rider perspective, these 4 or 5 technological points which I get with the bike, I am quite satisfied with that. As I said, it's not at par when it comes to EV. For example, hill assist, it doesn't have that. But if you consider the you would say long-term positives of a petrol versus EV, not considering the cost which is going to come, the riding cost, because as you all know, EV is quite cheaper in terms of riding day-to-day kilometers versus petrol, because petrol is expensive, of course. But as a buyer, if you compare, or if you just leave those 2 points, which is cost and technology, then I think petrol is the way as of now. And this is 2024. In the next 2 3 years, 4 years, there would be a game changer, and people will of course shift to an EV. But as of now, in 2024, there is a lot of R&D required. There's a lot of troubleshooting required in terms of EV bikes going through some mishaps, or they're breaking down quite frequently. So if you consider robustness, and if you compare, as I said, longevity for a petrol, it is always going to be petrol, because it is robust, it's durable versus EV. So yeah, if this is a short video, if you are considering of buying a petrol or an EV, you're confused, these are the 4 points which I considered, and I went ahead with a petrol. But of course, the choice is yours. And do what is practical for you. Do what is going to do what you find value in when you're paying some cash to it. I chose petrol because I found that as a more valuable asset than an EV as of now. So yeah, I'll see you in the next videos. Thank you so much for watching.